Hello there everybody, how's it going? It's Jessie from Jessie Marie Does Stuff here on FlossTube, coming to you on this Wednesday. We made it to a Wednesday. It is February 9th, 2022, and I am here with a cross-stitch update. Wow, I have so much to catch up on. We're covering about 5 weeks, give or take. But January feels so much longer, so it feels like a lot more than that. And that's kind of evidenced by the number of projects that I have to show you. It's a lot. It's quite a lot. But we'll get into it. So welcome everybody. If you are a returning viewer, thank you ever so much for coming back and returning and checking out another one of my videos. If you are a new viewer, thank you so much for coming. I hope that you find something you like and find reason to stick around, come again in the future. This channel I talk mostly about cross-stitch. Sometimes I'll talk about books and knitting. I have finished a couple of books since I last updated you all, but I'm not going to talk about that today because we got enough to cover. I think I have 15 projects to show you, which is a lot. That's a lot. But I mean, I've worked on a ton of things. And then we're going to go through the haul because your girl has been a little bit spendy. But I've got some really fun stuff in there that I would like to show you. So I think we're just going to jump right on in and we're going to start talking about the projects that I have worked on since early January, a long time ago. And we're going to start with something that I've worked on since. I worked on it in January and also here in February already. So that lives in this project bag here. This is by Ragtag Quilt Art on Etsy, and you can't see it because the project's in the way, but the inside fabric is kind of quilty because this project holds my August quilt. August quilt is by Paula Vaughan. It is from the book Quilts for All Seasons. I chopped up my book to make it a lot easier to use because color charts. But yes, Quilts for All Seasons is the book. This is my oldest project. And I worked on this. I have to figure out where I'm putting things. Okay. I worked on this in early January. I'm going to work on it every month until it is finished, hopefully in March. So I was working on it in early January for a whole slew of things. One of the major ones being the 22 Stitches Sal that was organized by Beth. And her channel, see, I have her Instagram name in my head. Her channel name will be listed here as well as in the description box below. She created this challenge for the beginning of the year to try to put 2022 stitches into your project of choice in the first week of the year. And I've kind of done that. I might do that every month. I might try to take the first week of the month to put in 2,000 stitches into my oldest WIP. And currently, it's this one. So I've done a lot since you last saw this. I think I was in here, up in here, and yeah, I've done a lot. This most recent rotation, I finished the quilt. The quilt is done, I mean, except for backstitch, but we'll do that later. And then I went through and finished the right side, the right page. This is split into 2 pages, side by side, and the right page is a little bit bigger. It's about 10 stitches wider than the left page, so I have more than half of this stitched. I mean, I have a whole half, more than a whole, you know what I mean. And so I just have this little section here left to do to finish out the stitching and some more of the rose bush here, which is all sorts of quarter stitches. This is 2/2 on a 32 count cream Belfast linen from Zweigart, and I love this. I have so much fun stitching this, usually. This last time, for whatever reason, I got a little burnt out. Yeah, I got a little burnt out, so I put this down sooner than I might have, just because I'm really close to finishing the stitching. Like, if I was really feeling it, I probably would still be working on it to get that finished. But anyway, there's an awful lot of half stitch in the ground there, so it makes fill in pretty quick. So there is my August quilt. So this will go away until March, probably. I have a ton of things that I would like to work on here in February, and it's just too short. This month is too short. So, likely going away until March, and I'm really hoping to finish this in March. The whole thing. The cross stitch and the back stitch. So, that's the plan. We shall see how everything else kind of shakes out for that plan. Some of these things are in order and some of them are not. They're kind of sprinkled in a little bit. So at some point after August quilt, I worked on Falling Snow. And this is still in my Q-snap, and I'll explain why here in a second. But this is Falling Snow by Shannon Christine Designs. And this is my snow day project. So I work on this when there is measurable snow accumulation on the ground, or when I feel like it. So yeah, this is still in the Q-snap because it may snow again on Sunday. Super Bowl Sunday, it might snow here, about 1 inch to 2 inches. So we'll see. So we've had some more snow. I think we've had like a total of 17 or 18 inches combined snow this year, which makes me happy. And so I've worked on this on the major accumulation snow days. And it's beautiful. I'm having so much fun stitching it. The white that I'm using is 3865. It calls for Blanc, but I have so much more fun stitching with 3865 that I'm not messing around with Blanc. And I'm just working my way down. I'm about to hit, you'll see a preview of what this will look like finished, but I'm about to hit the point where things get a little bit more spaced out. So I might come up and work this side of things. So that's the plan for the next time I work on it, I guess. This is on a 32 count Belfast linen in Caribbean Blue by Hand Dyed Fabrics by Stephanie. And I love it. I love it. I love it. And I love how that fabric is showing. Beautiful. I have been sort of moved to work on some older projects, some things that haven't seen the light of day in a very long time. And so my next one is evidence of that. This is something that I haven't worked on since 2019, I think. So this is the Stark House Banner, and it is by Lolita Maid, who is found on Etsy. And it is the Stark House Banner. I think I said that already, but anyway. So I don't know, I was compelled to pull this out and work on it. This is a 32 count Belfast in Valyrian Steel by Hand Dyed by Stephanie. And I'm stitching this with 762, believe it or not. I know it looks white, but it's that icy blue color. But I mean, it just looks white here on this fabric in particular, which is this gorgeous purpley gray. Love it. I don't think that this fabric is currently available, but I don't know that for certain. So when I worked on this, I worked on it for 2 days, I think, and I got the top 2 pages done finally, which was really cool. It was cool to make some good progress on this. This is on my main WIPGO board. It hasn't come up yet, but it is on my main WIPGO board, so this will come back out again later in the year. And I I think I've told you guys previously that the house Stark up here, I changed that to a font that's much more Game of Thrones like. And then I guess at the time I was feeling lazy and I used long stitches to backstitch it. And I hate how that looks. So I'm probably going to rip that out and actually backstitch it so that it's not so loosey-goosey. I mean, I can get my nail underneath a lot of those. I don't love that. So yeah, so I'm gonna have to adjust a little bit. But that's for next time. So that is Stark House Banner. I think I've explained this in the past, but some friends and I have decided to each individually choose a project of our own, break it up into 12 parts, and commit to getting those parts done each and every month. And then by the end of the year, we'll have a finish. So, I mean, this is something that I've kind of always done, right? I do this pretty frequently where I break it up into smaller chunks to reach a goal each month. So this year, my project is living in this gorgeous project bag by Jasmine's Custom Bags. She's recently changed her name, so I will list her Instagram handle in the description box because she's changed her name recently. And so, gorgeousness. And living in here is my Mirabella focus. And that is Bluebeard's Princess Mirabella. So excited to get some good work into this one. And I'm ready to make some progress finally, because it had been since 2018, I think, since I worked on this last. I have a lot of projects like that. So I pulled this project out to work on my January chunk, and my January chunk was real fast. I did it in like, I think 4 hours total. And all it required was beads and sparkles and Karen water lilies too. I don't think I've done the Karen in any of this so far. So I did some Karen water lily stitching and some sparkle. There's an awful lot of sparkle in this crown detail. And then lots of beads. Let's see if I can bring that in so y'all can see the sparkle. So let's talk about this real quick. I'm using the Mill Hill beads. Me, can you believe it? The Mill Hills. Why? Because this calls for Mill Hill Magnifica. And I don't know how comparable they are to Delica. If they're the same, just under a different brand name, I'm not sure. I don't know. What I do know is that they act like Delica beads. They are cut beads. They are uniform in shape and size. And more important than that, cannot find a conversion to Delica. So I decided to just go with the beads that are called for. So I'm stitching with the Mill Hills, which is very unfamiliar for me anymore. So yeah, so there's that. What else am I doing that's unusual for me? Oh, so there are 4 metallics called for in this one, 4 Krynics called for, and I have subbed all but one of them to Petite Treasure Braid. So I originally was going to sub all of them, and I had 3 of the 4 in my stash, so it was good to go. But the 4th one, Chartreuse, Krynic Chartreuse, that limey green color there, so I placed an order for the Petite Treasure Braid from 123 Stitch, and along with that order I ordered what I thought was in stock, a piece of Lakeside linens. And the long story short is that I did not get that order until January 31st, and I needed to work on this much before that. I mean, I didn't get here until January 31st, which means I wouldn't have been able to complete my goal in time. Yeah, so I just decided to go with the Krynic and call it a day. So that is my January section complete. My February section is the rest of the crown. And that's it. It's gonna be really quick. And the fabric for this is a 32 count Belfast linen in Knix from Under the Sea Fabrics. Skin stitched over one, how I do. So the irony of Mirabella is that I chose that project over Touching the Autumn Sky because I would like to finish Touching the Autumn Sky by summer. What have I not yet worked on? Touching the Autumn Sky. So I'm really hoping that I can find some time for that in March because, yikes, I need to get on that. Okay, let's get on to a bit of bad news. I have 2 UFOs this year, so we'll talk about the first one right now. I think I've talked previously about my Stitch Mania WIPGO board. So I have a WIPGO board that has just previously started Stitch Mania projects. And for the month of January, numbers 2 and 19 corresponded to Soucis by Long Dog Samplers and Castles by the Sea by Teresa Wentzler. So, I guess you know what this means. Castles by the Sea by Teresa Wentzler, I have UFO'd to restart at a later date. So here's what happened. I pulled this out to work on it. My goal for that board is 2 days or 500 stitches, whichever comes first. And so I pull this out to stitch on it, and I hate my stitches. I hate my stitches. For whatever reason, I can't get them to lay nice, and I can't. I mean, it was a huge debacle. I finally have all of the colors because I wasn't able to kit this one. This is one of my later Mania starts in 2020, and so I wasn't able to fully kit it at the time. So I did finally get it all kitted, and I sit down to stitch, and I hate my stitches, and I'm just not enjoying the process of this or the result. And those are 2 things that are kind of important. So I have UFO'd this to be restarted at a later date. It calls for 28 count linen, and I think I might go with that. I think I might do the 28 count. Those are big stitches, but I think that I'll be happier with it in that situation. So to be restarted at a later date. Kind of a bummer. I don't have a Teresa Wentzler on the go, which I hear is kind of a rule, but anyway, so that's that. Up next is my Nemesis project. I haven't been telling you the why I'm working on these things because there's just too much to go through. So we'll keep going. So I pulled this project out, and this is the Fantasy Cell. This was designed by Durene Jones. It was organized and distributed by Lakeside Needlecraft from 2016 to 2017. I went nuts on this one and stayed pretty up to date with it for a long time. And then my initiative with it, my interest in it, died. I mean, it just died. But I'm far enough along that I will just finish it. And it's gonna be so cute for BDS, but I've got to get through it. That's how I feel about some projects. We all get that way about some projects, and that's this one for me. I think that part of the issue, which I learned this most recent time, is that this is a 32 count Picture This Plus linen. The colorway is Heroic. And Picture This Plus, their dye process shrinks the fabric so much more than any other that I have experienced. I don't know if this is the case with their even weaves and Adas, but with their linens, oh my goodness, this is so dense and tight and not forgiving, and I don't love it. So if I wasn't as far as I am, this probably would have been UFO a long time ago. But anyway, so this time I focused on the final block, which was released in July of 2017, and I finished the block. So, whew, that's done. I stitched all of the human-like characters and creatures here with their skin 1/1 because I'm me. But yeah, so that block is finally done. This project I'm gonna have to try to work on a monthly or a every other month kind of basis and try to work it a bit at a time. See, I look at this here on the camera and I'm thinking there's not that much left to do. The border is, I mean, it's involved, but it's not that big. It's not that big. So anyway, that's Fantasy Sal, and it'll get finished hopefully this year. It's on my WIPGO board, on my main WIPGO board, so I'll work on it begrudgingly. We're about to mid-January at this point, so this just kind of shows you how much flip-flopping around I did. How quickly I switched from project to project. So I think that I mentioned in my last update video about working on projects as and when I can on their birthdays. And I had this project, this project's birthday was the 17th, I think. I'm pretty sure it was the 17th of January. And so I pulled this project out without ever thinking that I would get much progress on it. And so that lives in this super cute project bag by the Brass Button. And I thought it was pretty perfect for the project that lives inside of it, Personal Sunshine. So I pull this project out, really not thinking I'm going to get very much done on it, but working on it for its birthday and then calling it a day. And that changed very quickly, very quickly. So this is Personal Sunshine, artwork by Jeremiah Kettner, charted by Heaven and Earth Designs. And this is on a 25 count Lugana. This is ungridded. That's how you know it's pretty old for me. 25 count Lugana. I'm stitching it 1/1 full cross. And I got the page finish. Now, the coverage always looks crummy on this camera. We've got beautiful sunlight today, not a cloud in the sky. So coverage is gonna look a little rough, but it looks really good in person. I am stitching this using the called for DMC, but Anchor Black instead of DMC 310. And I am loving this. I need to get a board. One of those boards that some of y'all, I see some of y'all using where you clip your project. Yeah, I need one of those. Loved this. Had so much fun. Had record stitching days. 1,200, 1,400, 1,800 stitches. A lot. I mean, I did a lot. Now, a lot of that is owing to the fact that, I mean, this is mostly just black. It's mostly just one color. So that goes fairly quickly. So I pulled this out for what I thought was going to be one day and almost considered working on this throughout the year to try to get it finished. The Full Coverage Fanatics year-long counting event this year adds up to 100,000 stitches, and that would more than finish this. This project is 106,000 stitches total, and I had already had page 1 done, and I was a little bit into page 2 when I got working on this. So I almost did that, but I would still really like to get to all of my heights and to get a page finish on every single one of them, not try to focus on just one so soon, especially after focusing on In This Moment the way that I did over the last couple of years. I would like to get some traction into all of my hits because I have a lot. So I'm I'm having these musings, you know, trying to figure out how to navigate all of my full coverage goals and how there's no full coverage on my WIPGO board. And it was like a light went on. Why don't I have a full coverage WIPGO board? So I now have a full coverage WIPGO board. Do I have 3 stitching WIPGO boards? Yes. Yes, I do. I absolutely do. So I created a WIPGO board, and I'll insert a picture of it here. Each of my goals for these blocks is a half page. I would like to get to the half page mark. So for projects like this, where I was part the way into page 2, my goal was to get to the half page mark. And then my other goal was to get another half page. So one of them was going to go a little bit faster than the other, but nonetheless, half page goals. Okay, so WIPGO board here so that you can see what has been called and where I'm at with things. It's a little bit of a spoiler, but that's okay. So 2 and 19 were called for January. When I created this WIPGO board, Magic Study went into the 19 space, and we were already over halfway through January. I just decided to focus on this, so I made a swap. So you see that this pops up more times than a lot of them. And the same is true for Snow Castle, because Snow Castle is still my 22 in 22 goal for full coverage fanatics. 22,000 stitches in 2022. So that is listed on there quite a few times, enough so that I can get that goal accomplished. This is listed quite a few times so I can get a few pages into this one. And then everything else is listed enough times to get the page finish. So you will see the blacked out square for Avarice. It is the only Avarice square because at the beginning of the year, Avarice was over the halfway point on page 1. And my goal is to get a page on everything, to get to the page finish on everything. So that's why you also don't see Dark Waters listed at all. So Dark Waters is not listed because I got that page finished last year. Snow Castle is many times. Personal Sunshine is many times. Avarice only once. And I think there's another one that's only once. But I don't remember which one it is. Alice? Maybe. It doesn't matter. It doesn't make a difference. So, yeah. So I have 3 WIPGO boards that I'm trying to accomplish each month, but I can't abandon full coverage. I can't do it. So one thing that's kind of interesting while I was working on this and contemplating working on it until finished this year, I have 4 heids with 130,000 or less stitches remaining. 4 of them. This one has just over 90, and so it's technically the closest to finished. Snow Castle has just about 100,000. April has 130,000, and Avarice has about 140,000. No. Yeah, I guess it has about 140, so 140,000 or less. So I might start trying to knock out some of these heids over the coming years. So you might see some of them more frequently than others. But I'm so excited about my full coverage WIPGO board. I just gotta say, it just makes me so happy that I was able to find a way to be sure that I'm getting in some full coverage stitching, because it is one of my major stitching loves. So anyway, that's Personal Sunshine, and that's why it gets its own project bag, and that's why it's on a floss organizer, because it's gonna get some consistent love this year and for the next couple. After Personal Sunshine, I was at a loss for what to do next. I had a few more goals left to do for the rest of the month, but I didn't really want to. So the rest of the things that I worked on, I worked on for a few days, but I don't know, my enthusiasm for stitching was at a minimum. It was very low. So I met my goals, and that was about it. Up next was my other WIPGO, my main WIPGO, my main WIPGO board draw for the month. So that was Farmhouse Christmas by Little House Needleworks. This is just block 3. I have the whole series technically listed on my WIPGO board, but I was working on block 3. I was part the way through it, and so I needed 5 days or 1,500 stitches, whichever came first, and I got my 1,500 stitches in a really weird way. So this is a 32 count Belfast linen in flax from Zweigart. So I got the block finish, which is awesome. I think it turned out really cute. I enjoyed stitching that house, which I wasn't expecting to, but I really did. And then instead of start a new block, I just did borders enough to add up to the number of stitches I needed. Because that I could do pretty much without thinking. I didn't need a chart for it. I could just grab my thread and go. So that's what I did, to total up to 1,500 stitches for the month. So at the beginning of the year, I started with needing 6 more blocks. So divided by 12, that's half a block a month. So I am technically caught up. So I'm gonna try to work on this again in March and do the first half of this block. I don't know which block that is yet, but the top half of that block I'm gonna try to get done in March. And I'm gonna try to piece this out because I lose steam on this project. I get bored with these colors. I get annoyed with the lack of variegation in some of them. It is using all of the called for threads except for the white. I subbed out the white for 3865 because I don't care for Classic Colorworks bamboo. So anyway, I always lose steam on this project, and so I think piecing it out will help me get through it and maybe finally get it finished this year. That would be so cool. Main WIPGO, August, and Farmhouse Christmas, done. Full coverage WIPGO, Personal Sunshine for both blocks, done. Mania WIPGO, Soucis was worked on, but I'll show you that in a little bit because it's further down the pile for some reason. Castles by the Sea, UFO'd, replaced with Alice in a Dolly Dream. That was my only remaining Mania start that wasn't previously on the Mania WIPGO board, so I did replace it with Alice in a Dolly Dream. So WIPGO, effectively done. I had 2 more projects that I needed to get to in the month for the Daily 30 year-long event, for which we have 3 projects, one of which for me was August Quilt. The second lives in this project bag, which is just a bunch of headless birds. Oh, there's one that has his head. But this is a Mommy bag. It is from Emily at Eclectic Possessions, and I don't know, they're headless and I love that. So in here is my Leah Gronow 1872. I wanted to be sure to get this project finished this year, and so monthly work on it? Yes, please. So Leah Gronow 1872 by Mary Wind Farm. So excited to work on this. Even though I wasn't super enthused about stitching, I was excited to work on this. This is on 32 count Belfast in vintage Meadow Rue from Lakeside Linens. Yes, Meadow Rue. And beautiful, beautiful. This is where I got to. I love this fabric. So I've been watching some sampler stitchers on FlossTube lately. And the way that we all go a little bit nuts over a brown fabric, I can't help but giggle every time. Oh my gosh, look at how beautiful this brown fabric is. Anyway, I mean, beautiful, beautiful, gorgeous brown fabric. I love this a whole lot. So much, a whole lot. So, I got pages 1 and 2 done. And page 3 is a skinny one. But that is the cutoff for the pages. This project is a total of 9 pages. The bottom row is not quite full. And the third column is super skinny pages. But I got 2 pages done. And I am loving this. Yeah. This is a lot of fun to stitch. I kind of wish I did it on 40 count, but I'm also happy, super happy with the color of the fabric, so it's give and take. Gorgeous. I finally have the alphabet done. And, I mean, everything. So, these flowers here, these kind of off-white ones, it's kind of funny. Those are charted in DMC, and the house is done in that color too. And so a couple years ago, I pulled Gentle Arts Chamomile to replace the DMCs because I thought, I'm not going to do DMC. I'm just going to use some variegates for this. And I was using chamomile for something else, and so I thought, that's really pretty. Emily and I started this together. She's finished hers, and she did her house in chamomile. Yeah. So I decided to deviate a little bit, to switch it up. And so I pulled a coloring cotton, similar to the DMC that was called for, which is 842. And so it's like a neutral, but this is a little bit more variegated than 842, obviously. And it looks an awful lot like Shaker White when stitched up, which I think is hilarious. But I mean, when you put them together, they're not that far apart. Really not. So I'm using this color for the flowers, but I'm gonna find something even more fun for the house. Because, yeah, it's just too close. And I think I have pulled a couple of options here. This is Almond Latte, which is a little bit darker. And I have Bare Copper, which is pinkier than it's showing there, but that might be fun. So there's that. Plus, I'll be honest, I must have used my skein of chamomile in something, because my new skein of chamomile is, I don't have it here, but it's not very pretty. So anyway, so that is Leah Gronow, and she will come out this month, along with August Quilt and this next project every single month. So my final goal for the month lives in this project bag here. And, well, let me show you and then we will discuss. This is Have Faith by Cottage Garden Samplings, Songbirds Garden Series number 7 of 12. And this project bag, by the way, is by Diddly Daddle Designs. I guess I was done stitching at this point because zero motivation. I mean, I really had very little motivation on this one. And part of that might have been it was in my frame wrong, so everything was a little bit wobbly. And I get annoyed by things like that, and I think that when I'm already feeling not very stitchy and then things start to annoy me, bad recipe. So I worked on this and I got my 1,500 stitches that I was going for, and that was it. I think I did 1,502 stitches, and that was it. That was all I could manage. See, looking at it here, it's so beautiful. So this is a 32 count Belfast linen in vintage cedar plank by Lakeside Linen. So I had 2 Lakesides back to back. But anyway, I am stitching this using the DMC. It calls for Weeks Dye Works linen and Weeks Dye Works threads. No thank you. I switched for the DMC, which is my plan for this whole series. You can see I changed Faith to Family, and everything's going to fit beautifully. If you're watching this and you're like, that's a really cool idea, I like that. This bow right here with these 2 bluebells, I shortened this section right here by 2 rows to accommodate the Y. The Y dipping down would have stepped into that. So just a heads up, if you are inspired, I got the letters from the rest of the series. Everything else will space just fine. I just had to shorten this by 2 stitches. So the house comes up to this flower just a little bit, but there's enough space. And this flower will not, it won't touch the Y. It comes close, but it doesn't touch it. So anyway, love. I did not love stitching on this, but I do love the result. Lakeside linens are so soft that it's almost wobbly in my Millennium frame, so I have to be cognizant of that when I pull this out next. On top of that, I mean, I think I worked on 13 or 14 projects in January. That is a lot of switching, and it's too much switching for my taste. I don't really like switching that much. I don't mind doing some switching, but that was a lot. So I think that that's probably part of the burnout as well. So this will come out in February to get my goal on it. I did the WIPGO draws for February on January 27th. And so we get to January 31st. I'm done with Have Faith. I need a break. I need to either not stitch or I need to stitch on something that I'm going to really enjoy. And we had the WIPGO calls. And this was a project that I would not be able to get the goal in one day, but it would make getting the goal in February much easier. So I pulled this project out. And so it lives in this super adorable, my daughter loves this project bag. I just have to tell you, she loves this project bag. I'm sure it has to do with the green and all of the kids, but she loves this project bag. This is also by Jasmine's Custom Bags, and it's just happy. I love this one. And living in this project bag is, oh yeah, the hearts. So living in this project bag is Avarice by Heaven and Earth Designs. So I pulled this from my full coverage board because why not? I'm going to insert a preview here of what this will look like finished. This is the full-size version, however, I have cropped it. I think I said that weird. I cropped some of the dress so that she comes a little bit more into focus. I think she fades a little bit into the background with that much dress. So I trimmed off some of it. And my picture is in black and white. So this was a design that my, at the time, boyfriend, he's now my husband, he bought me this chart and went and bought all of the threads for it, kitted it all up for me for one of our anniversaries, for one of our dating anniversaries. And I started it for our first wedding anniversary. So this is an easy grid 25 count Ugana from Zweigart, and my goal was the page finish, and I got the page finish. Again, it looks better in person than you see there. But it still looks pretty good there. It's still looking pretty good. So, like I said, my goal for all of my WIPGO, my full coverage WIPGO, is a half page, and I was just over the half page on this one. So I had 3,000 stitches to do, give or take, on this one to get the page finished, or to get my WIPGO goal of getting the page finished. So I did that in the first, by the, I think the 4th, I think, is when I put in the last stitches on page 1. And I zoomed, full stop. The confetti picked up and it did not let up. So there, I mean, there's a ton of threads here, and they're all from this. So these diamond motifs that sort of encircle her, whew, that's a lot of colors. I did not have confetti like this in this moment. I don't think I had this kind of confetti before. So that was kind of, it was fun, and it was also like, I would really like to finish this page now, please. Like I had a few hundred stitches left, and it took me a lot more time than a few hundred stitches takes me in this, obviously. So anyway, I got the page finished. I finally have a page done. I'm at just over 5% complete on this one. I'm excited. I'm really excited. This getting to touch on all of my heights and work through them until at least the page. Chef's kiss. It's perfect. It's making me happy. So that is Avarice. And she may be done for the year, but I'll get back to her next year. It will. Okay, 3 projects left. We're almost there. Yeah, I don't know why this was so far down. So this is Soucis by Long Dog Samplers. This is on a 32 count Belfast linen in Ice Blue by Zweigart. And this is going to look very different from when I started it. So this was a May 2020 start. At the time, I pulled a color palette from stitchpalettes.com, I think, listed here, linked in the description box, called, I believe, Earth and Sky. I wanted it to feature DMC 995 and 37.99. That was my goal. And so I found this stitch palette that had some complementary colors, and we were good to go. I was using the ice blue linen for one of those colors, and then I had 37.99, 9.95, 9.96, and 2 browns with which to stitch Soucis. And I was excited about it. I was really excited about it. And over the years, I have not pulled this project out because figuring out where to put those colors stresses me out. It stresses me out. I want it to look nice. I want it to make sense. And I want to have a plan going forward about color placement. And I couldn't wrap my brain around the right way to do this. So I pared it down to 2 colors, to my 2 favorite colors. 37.99 and 9.95. 9.95 always makes me think of Zakiya, so this project just makes me think of Zakiya. And I am much happier with it. I had to do a ton of frogging, but c'est la vie. So this project, see it's all wrinkly? I put it on my Q-snap, and this was my Wednesday night TV stitching project. We have a bunch of shows on Wednesday nights, and I don't always care to pay super close attention. Like, we watch Forged in Fire, and Celebrity Big Brother's on right now, Survivor is coming back, etc. And so our Wednesdays are always super busy shows wise. And if I can zone out and stitch a little bit while we watch those shows, that's pretty great. So that's my Mania WIPGO board plan, is TV stitching. I figure it'll get me some progress on these projects, but it won't be a ton of progress, but that's okay because I'm not looking for a ton anyway. It's a supplementary board more than anything. So I got all of the excess stuff frogged out and am moving forward with just these two colors. And so in 2 nights of stitching, a lot of the first one was frogging, I've done almost 300 stitches. I'll take it. So that's my plan with my Mania WIPGO board. Wednesday night TV stitching. I have all of my projects that I would like to work on here in February in a Tiny Decisions wheel. And every few days, or when I'm ready to rotate, I have my husband spin the wheel. And so he spun the wheel for me, and it landed on one of my 2 main WIPGO board projects for February, which was Anna Ohman 1873 by Lila's Studio. And I was super excited to work on this one. It's monochromatic, it's on 40 count, and I always enjoy stitching on this one. I almost stitched this to finish last September, but thought better of it, and I almost stitched to finish again here, but thought better of it. So here is my progress, and this is a 40 count Newcastle linen in Alabaster by Zweigart, and I'm stitching it using Gentle Art Sampler Threads Cherry Bark, of which I have 3 fairly distinct dye lots. So I'm using them individually. So I have one skein that I'm using for this center bird motif, I have one skein that I'm using for these motifs, and I have another skein that I'm using for the borders. And looking at it here, you can't really see the dye lot differences, but in person and when I'm stitching it, I really can. So I'm glad that I made the decision to separately use them. You can kind of see that the center motif is a little bit more berry colored than the rest. But anyway, I mean, that's just the nature of hand-dyed threads, right? This is so much fun. I put on a good audiobook, or I put on a good FlossTube, and I am good to go for a while on this one. Yeah, this is a fun project. And this I hope to get finished this year, to put up on my wall. But I'd really like Leah to be my first reproduction sampler finish, so so there's that. The other thing is that there's so many projects that I want to get to in February. I mean, I have 3 WIPGO boards, so that's a lot. So I can't spend all of my time on this one, even though I wanted to. I met that goal yesterday, and perfect timing because today is a WIP's birthday. It is my only project that I have that has a birthday in February. It's my only one, which is wild. So that is Promise of Spring by Cottage Garden Samplings, Songbirds Garden Series number 4. There's an awful lot of cottage garden going on right now. So this one features the American robin and tulips, and this is a lot of fun to stitch. So let me show you what I have done so far today. It hasn't been a whole lot, and there won't be any before and afters on this one because I like to do that for end of rotation kind of a thing. You see this gorgeous manual minder? I don't remember where I got that from. I think it was a unique one from Gina's Unique Boutique, but it's a portrait of First Lady Michelle Obama in that dress. I thought Hope pretty perfect. So, so that is what I am currently working on. And this time I have finished the leaf and brought this down. I'm hoping to get the other of these flowers done. Like Have Faith, this is using the DMC, and these colors are turning out way, way bold. Way bold. The cover, this is stitched on a 36 count with 1 strand over 2, plus using the called for threads. And mine is on a 32 count with 2 strands of floss. So it's almost doubly more saturated than this cover image. So it's a pretty close conversion. It's just that it's turning out much richer and much bolder than I think the original feel. I'm okay with it. I'm not changing a darn thing, but it is bolder. It's not quite springy. It's really more summery. It's still beautiful though. Yeah, this is good. And the fabric here is a 32 count Belfast in Seaside by Hand Dyed Fabrics by Stephanie. So I'll work on this one for today, maybe a little bit tomorrow, knock out some prompts with it, and go from there. Okay, so let's talk plans real quick. So for my main WIPGO board, Anna Ohman, that one's done. I also have Dumbo by Mandarinks Designs, so that will get worked on later on in the month. From my Mania WIPGO board, I have Good Intentions by Kathy Barrick, and I have Rolodex Morning Sampler by Bendy Stitchy. That one is loaded up on my Q-Snap for Wednesday night stitching tonight, so I will show you that next time. For my full coverage WIPGO board, I have Avarice done, and then I also have Snow Castle, so I'm finally going to get into Snow Castle this month, which I'm really looking forward to. So I'll work on that until I get at least the half page done. So those are the WIPGO plans. Then I've got my remaining 2 projects for the Daily 30 group year-long event. So again, Have Faith and Leah Gronow. And then we'll see what else. We only have, what, 19, 20 days left of the month? Nope, 19. So we'll see. We'll see what I can accomplish in that period of time. But wait, there's more. So, living in this project bag, which I do believe I showed you guys last time. This is from Stitch and Button. And this is a new start that I'm going to have here in about a week and a half or so. Almost 2 weeks from now. So this is The Swans by Cottage Garden Samplings. So this is design number 2 for A Year in the Woods, and I am so excited to start this. I am starting this on Tuesday, February 22nd, 2022. For Tuesday. For so many reasons, and I'm just so geeked. This will be my second new start for the year. It is the second design in A Year in the Woods. It is my second start of the series. There are 2 swans and 2 pine cones. I know 2 people, 2 stitchers whose birthday is 2/22, and that would be Jen of Quirks and Stitches, which we all know that that's her birthday. It is also Belinda Aussie Stitcher's birthday. So I know 2 stitchers whose birthday is that day. I also know 2 people in my real life, whatever, outside of my stitching world, whose birthday is on 2/22, and that is my grandma. This is her would-be 94th birthday, and it is also a friend of mine from college. It's her birthday, and I always knew that it was her birthday because it was actually her license plate. So There's a whole lot of twos happening, and I'm just so thrilled. I am so excited to start this one. So hopefully I will love this one at least half as much as I loved the fox. But yes, I'm very excited to get going on this one. And I am stitching this on 32 count Belfast linen in Night's Watch by Hand-Dyed Fabrics by Stephanie. How perfect is this fabric? Oh my gosh, I'm so excited. I am so excited. What it took for me to have this linen accessible for this project was a UFO. But it was a project that I was contemplating UFOing for some time. What used to live here, what currently lives here, I don't know, is Fight Like a Girl by Tanya Amity. So there's a couple of reasons why I have UFO'd this and why I am pilfering the fabric. And I don't know where I'm going to put this design, but I'll find it, don't worry. One of them is, this is a full coverage design. Fight Like a Girl is a full coverage design, and I am using a piece of hand-dyed fabric for a full coverage design. And I've heard some people talk about using hand-dyed fabrics for full coverage and how you get to enjoy the fabric, and I think that that's all well and good, but that's not enough for me. I just don't, I feel really strange about using hand-dyed fabric for full coverage design. So I have some navy linen on order to potentially restart this at some point this year. The other thing is that there is some HP imagery in this design that I need to change. I need to alter the design to do away with the HP imagery. So that is going to require some brain, and it may require some reorganizing of the whole project. So let me start fresh and let me use this fabric for this once. So it kind of gives second life, another two, to this fabric. So that's my plan there. I'm going to start this on Tuesday, 2/22/22. So thrilled, so excited. So that's what I'm going to work on here in February. So my other plan will help us segue ever so nicely into the haul, into the stash. But I have a plan, and it pertains to my full coverage WIPGO board. When I get a WIPGO on my full coverage WIPGO board, and actually when I get two, I need two bingos, two WIPGOs. So it's going to be quite some time before I can do this. I'm going to have a full coverage start. So every time I get two, more twos here, WIPGOs, then I'm going to have a full coverage start. So it means that I may not get many, but I might get a couple. While I'm working on Personal Sunshine, I am so loving it. I'm having so much fun stitching it. It is taking me back to working on In This Moment. And I had this light bulb go off. I must always have a Jeremiah Kettner Haid on the go. Always. I have 4 more in stash, and I must always have one on the go. On top of that, my daughter loves owls. She loves them. Her Auntie Sammy J Stitches made a very sweet owl, not a birth sampler for her, and she says good night to those owls every night. She goes every night. We can't go to bed until she says goodnight to her owls. She loves owls. And I have a Jeremiah Kettner Haid in my stash called Little Wings. So this kind of has a story in and of itself. Tracy P. we're going all over the place, so just go with me here. Won a giveaway from me a whole bunch of years ago, and one of the things that she won was a Haid or two. I can't remember, but one of them was Little Wings, and I fell in love with that design, so I bought one for myself. So I have Little Wings as well, and I'm gonna stitch it for my daughter. It's perfect. Even if by the time I get this thing finished, she no longer gives any care in the world. You see what I almost said there? Any care in the world for owls, then it will be for me, and I will have enjoyed the process. And it's so cute. It's huge. So cute feels like too small a word, but it's very big. But anyway, so that is going to live in this project bag, and that is going to be my first reward for finishing a WIPGO on my full coverage board. It's an owl, and it's perfect. It's coming from Vintage Owl Lady. You'll see her. I have another of her bags because I have a problem. It's a good problem, but I love her bags. Anyway, so there's owls, and then the little zipper pull is a cute little owl, and then the inside, owls. Perfect. So that's what is going to live in this project bag, and I will work on getting that kitted up here so that it is ready and waiting for me. So excited. So that is that. Like I said, that helps us segue into haul, and I have had some retail therapy, some quick trigger fingers as far as buying stuff lately. Without going into too many details, I haven't been sleeping very well. My anxiety is doing its thing. It's all over the place, and I have had some middle of the night, unexplained, unable to figure out how to fix it insomnia. And so I have done some late night purchasing as a result. So settle in, there's some fun stuff here. So we're gonna start with project bags. So this set, these ones I got from Stitch and Button. And so first we're gonna start with this one. This one is really special. I'm pleased on this one, and Vic went on to tell me that this fabric came from Belinda Aussie Stitcher. So that's really cool. And I got the full set for this one. So project bag, sweet little charmed zipper pull. There's an accessory pouch, so cute, and then what she calls Ort books. So that's super great. I love that. So got the whole set for that one. Next, I know exactly what project is going to go into this one. Beauty and the Beast. Perfect. For my Beauty and the Beast. And that watercolor blue fabric on the inside. Oh, these are gorgeous. Vic's Facebook group will be linked in the description box below, so that y'all can go get these. You can get some project bags. Not these. These are no longer available. And then this Valentine's one. Oh, it's so pretty. And I got the matching Ort book for this one as well. So there is my Vic haul. So I got a Calyx for my stitchy stuff, and I'm so excited. I'm getting close to it all being organized, and then I'll share some pictures and video of it. And so I'm getting my projects put up there, and Danny is helping me get them all organized, and I'm working on getting them put in there chronologically. And he says, you know, you should have a nice project bag for all of these. And I'm like, what? Did he just say that? And I'm like, did you just say that? Like, I need clarification here. And he says, yeah, I think you should have some nice project bags for all of these. You know, these projects you're going to have for a really long time. And I'm waiting for the other shoe to drop. Is he about to tell me that he just spent a whole bunch of money on something stupid? And so he's buttering me up for something. And so far that other shoe has not dropped. So I'm not sure why he was encouraging this. But I'll run with it, I guess, for now. So I posted this to Instagram, this whole story. And Tina messaged me and she said, that's really cool. You should check out my Etsy shop. And I went, yes, a new seller. I'm so about it. So I bought this from Tina's, she is Be Busy Bags on Etsy. And I'll be sure to link her down below. She has lots to choose from. And Anna Ohman is going to live in here. Is she a hummingbird? No, but red, white, pink. It's perfect. So Tina went above and beyond, and oh, I have to show you her zipper pull. She's Be Busy Bags. Look at that. So cute. And these bags are fantastic. They're also big. They're pretty big. So great. So great. So she sent along like a set. So I have an ort organizer or a thread organizer. And it's got the felt for your needle. You can run your needle in. So cool. And y'all, I use these. I have one from the brass button that I have been rotating around a bunch of my projects because I have this habit now of pulling threads and just like setting them on the chair. And so I have little piles of thread everywhere. So I'm using the heck out of these lately. And I'll snap that later. And then also, I think probably dual purpose like scissor bag and also on the go ort bag. So cool. Tina, thank you very, very much. So definitely check out her shop. And when I get late night spendy again, I'll probably visit her shop again because yeah, that was really awesome. And I just zippered that close. Okay, the last one that I have to show you is another Susan bag. Y'all need to be buying these Susan bags so that I don't. But I could not pass this up. Beautiful, beautiful. I think that my Moonlight Sampler by the Blue Flower is going to move into this project bag because it kind of feels like it was made for this. And then I will free up that project bag for something else. And then the inside of this one, don't show this to my daughter. She'll go nuts. She also loves a unicorn. So owls and unicorns, it says BDS all over it. Anyway, so yeah, so that stunner, just absolutely gorgeous. And I think those moons are a little bit sparkly. Yeah, they've got some shimmer, so very, very exciting. So those are the project bags that I have currently. We'll see if I get another 40 for all of my whips. I'm waiting for my husband to wake up and realize what he said. So far it hasn't happened though. Okay, let's move into the rest of the stash, and we're going to try to do this fairly quickly. Cottage Garden Samplings Turkey Day. So this is A Time for All Seasons, and I don't think I'm going to stitch this whole series because I don't love every single one in this series, but there's a few that I would like to stitch up. And this turkey is, he's beautiful. So there's that. There's that treasure braid I was telling you about, and one of the threads for the turkey. Oh, there's chamomile. Yeah, look at that. More cottage garden samplings. The jackrabbit. I get mine. I have a club with Top Knot Stitcher, and you can still sign up to join this. She sends you an invoice for each one, and so you get regular mail from Top Knot. So this is number 3, the jackrabbit, and his ears. Oh my goodness, so cute. So that's gonna go on the to start later list. I'm not gonna unwrap this. I'll show you the sticker. I don't know if you can read that, but it says full yard. Body yard of 25 count Lagana. Not really for anything in particular at first. But the mood has been, I don't know, I have felt moved to start a supersize max color. Why? Don't know. Part of it, I'm not gonna lie, I was watching Jemima the Rocking Stitcher's Whip Parade, and you can't finish a supersize max color hate if you never start one. And I don't have any Amy Stewart's on the go, which I feel like needs to be rectified. So I bought this for if and when the mood strikes. And I want to say 2 days after I placed this order, 2 days, I'm on the Amy Stewart Designs for Hade Facebook group page, and somebody finds out about the Grand Library, and it's going to Hade, so I guess that's what this is going to be for. And so my second pair of WIPGO bingos on my full coverage board will be this. Or maybe this will be my if I get a blackout. Maybe that should be the plan. Because a yard. Very nice. I also picked up an 1/8 yard of 16 count Ada in platinum. I have told you all that I would like to try to teach myself how to stitch in a hand, and so that's what this is going to do. That's what I'm going to use this for. I have a Frosted Pumpkin Stitchery Valentine's thing that I might start on this, and to start working on stitching in hand. I'm going to be pulling up some stitching in hand videos and watching how y'all do this. So I'm actually kind of excited about that. Okay. I've got a pile over here and one thing over here, and well, let's do the one thing over here. Right place, right time. Feeling spendy was on Facebook, and I see that Garon Stitchery posted that they had these. This was an exclusive kit organized by FlossTube, I believe, and I jumped on it. The Pantone color of the year is called Very Perry, or Periwinkle Purple, and that's what this is. So, purple, and inside we have a selection of purple threads. I believe they are all by Veriswa. Yeah. We have Soie d'Alger, Soie Perlée, Métallisé Tressé 4, Soie de Paris, and Soie Gobelin. Forgive my French. So, there is that. Those are beautiful. we have this cute little bag here, and inside are a couple of really nice little things. We have this tassel for, I'm assuming, a scissor finder, scissor fob thing, or zipper pull maybe. John James size 28 needle. Some 15-0 purple beads. Those look to be Mill Hills in an iridescent purple color. And there was one more little, a super pretty little purple flower. And an exclusive chart from the Reflet de Soie, Philomene Hallette, 1876. Yes. Super pretty. Super pretty. I don't think there's any purple in this, but it's stunning. So, yeah, right place, right time. I was able to snatch one of those up. So yeah, very cool stuff in there. Okay, I have color and cotton fabric of the month for January, chamomile. Look, more chamomile. Gorgeous brown fabric. This is a light brown, but gorgeous. Maybe for Philomena. I have decided that I'm going to restart Anne Offendel on 40 count Newcastle in cream. I would just like a warmer fabric for that design, so cream it is. I love this color from Zweigart. I have another design from Reflet de Soie, Ernestine Briere, 1909. That gigantic rose there in the middle. She is beautiful. Yep, I love that. I did not have, or could not find one of the beads for Bluebeard's Princess Mirabella, so I found it on an eBay shop, and one pack of beads can't travel alone, so I picked up the Blue Dog Sampler by Bright Needle from the same shop. It was those funky letters that drew me in. I think that's really cool. And it would just be a little one. So, shelve that for maybe September. Okay. Oh yeah, there's some really fun stuff in here. Okay. So I watched Emily C's video of her 40 starts for this year to celebrate her 40th birthday. And I messaged her and I said, Emily, what are we starting for your birthday, for your actual birthday? She said, well, I'm going to start this design by the Scarlet Letter. So I just got Jane Walker circa 1800 from the Scarlet Letter. And so I'm considering starting that. But based on our conversation and my inability to sleep at night, I went shopping on the Scarlet Letter again, and I found this. She's funky. That was kind of a major theme with Emily's video, was funky colors, and this one is funky. It's very different. All of the verse in there is non-religious, which I think is important. Plus, her name is Emily Lucille. And it's funky. It's just very, very cool. I haven't seen this one anywhere else. This one has queen, stem, satin, rice, and Irish stitch. I don't know what Irish stitch is, but it says the majority is in cross stitch, however, large sections of those other specialty stitches. So that could be fun. So I'm back and forth, this or Jane Walker. I have yet to decide. So we'll see. But a chart from the Scarlet Letter can't travel alone. So how about a little one? This is fairly new, I think. Eunice Morton. And she's little. Super little. But I love that border. Those flowers there, that's really pretty. Shelve that one for September. Oh, and this is an American sampler, so that's cool. Okay, 2 more, and then we'll call it a day, I think. I have had searches for this for a long time on eBay, and never have any popped up in a price range that I was really willing to spend. But this popped up on Etsy on a random search a few weeks ago. The Happy Heart Sampler by Birds of a Feather. I don't believe that the shop that I bought this from had any more. But yeah. I got this for a lot less than I've seen it go for on eBay. We'll just say that. A lot less than that. Oh my goodness. I'm so thrilled. I am so excited. Will I start this soon? Maybe. See, this would be a really great Valentine's start. And if I wasn't so committed to my 2 business for 2/22, I might consider starting this on Valentine's. So, that is the Happy Heart Sampler. And then, No Chart Can Travel Alone. Happy Heart Sampler came with Cece Smith from the Scarlet House. And honestly, this one is for the roosters. And I like the cartouche. Cartouche in the middle there. I don't know. I like that. So, and this is a Dutch sampler. So yeah. So that's really a lot. And we have Market here before too long. Where are you all watching the market previews? Let me know. So yeah, let me know in the comments. Where are you watching market previews? I'm curious. Okay. I think that that's enough. I think we have done enough. I need to head off here and get cleaned up. Kato should be waking up from her nap here fairly soon. So yeah. Thank you everybody so much for watching. Thank you for your continued support of me and my channel, especially since I am so sporadic. I hope to get to a place where I can film more consistently so that these videos aren't this long. But we'll see what happens. See what happens. Happy stitching, everybody. As always, be kind, stay safe, stay healthy. See you next time.